run, 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 run. What up, guys? I'm here in the garage. It is freezing. It's 39 degrees, but it's all good. As you guys know, I'm well under the way of revamping the car for the 2019 season. Got a fuel-safe fuel systems fuel cell here. It's 13 gallons. It's a custom cell that I designed with them to incorporate just a little bit more volume in the actual bladder. So instead of a 12-gallon, it's a 13-gallon. So in Formula Drift Pro 2, you have a weight classification. I think it's 2850, right? So if I have a 10-gallon cell, that means that it's going to be a little bit light, and we're going to have to add weight to the car. An easy way to add weight to the car is to carry more fuel. Also, a bigger cell equates to more fuel as well. So more than just one reason why I decided to go with a slightly larger cell, but I made it in custom dimensions. This way, I could put it exactly where I wanted to put the weight in the correct spot in the back of the car to make sure I still have a lot of grip. The car handles the way that I want it with the lower center of gravity, yada yada. So along with the fuel cell and using the Radium FCST, I'm going to be moving the radiator to the back of the car. I got a front mount intercooler. All heat exchanger is going to be handled by CR Racing. They have top quality products. We're going to be doing some pretty exciting stuff with the build on that, so I'm pretty excited to get that going. And as of last night, I just got one more partnership, which is pretty exciting, and I'm pumped to share with you guys. It's AN Fitting lines and hose from Phenix Industries. So although I want to just jump straight into working on the car and assembling lines and fittings and everything, I need to stop and take a moment to organize all the fittings I have and really just make sure that this is set up correctly. That way I can work more efficiently. Alright, so this is the base of this connect system that I purchased earlier. I put all the Phenix and 16 hose in here. It's just good to have everything in one spot, you know. It's pretty cool also with this thing. It rolls. I use the same system for all my wiring stuff. It is like the most convenient, efficient way to keep things, you know. Even if you just have a garage, you know, it's cool to have it all in one spot. That way you can move it whenever you want. But it's cool because it's got like indefinite amount of stackable different options and trays. And it comes with this pretty cool handle here, if I can get it undone. So you can roll it wherever you want. They come apart as well. So just pull this apart like that. Got the base right there. So this container can hold some fittings. You can move those around whatever way you want. Then you got this last one here. Just unlatch it and it unfolds like this. That way you can put your slightly larger fittings in here, possibly a couple tools, you know, whatever you're working on. And then when you're finished, then you got the whole connect system, which actually interlocks. And then you can roll it safely, securely, all to wherever you're going, or just put it against the wall next to the rest of your parts. For the organization process, I got the hose in here for right now. I have one spare because I know there's a lot more fittings coming. This is mainly the Dash 16, larger stuff that I'm going to be using for the cooling system, for the radiator and the electric water pump, and outlet of the motor and stuff like that. And then I got small intricate stuff on the top right here. Alright, so I'm going to put this over here until the rest of the fittings come in. Once those come in, I'll get to organizing them, and I'm going to start taking out the radiator. So first it's going to be the duct, then it's going to be the radiator under it, so I actually need to go get a couple tools. Alright, so I used safety wire to make sure that the shroud did not move once the car was going fairly fast. Maybe it's not the best fastener, but it works and it's cheap and it got the job done for about 3.5 years. Probably not going to be using safety wire on the new setup, but it worked for the time being. Alright, let's pull this guy out here. Oh my god, so dirty. Look at that thing. Believe it or not, this thing used to look really, really nice. And this is the old setup. Now check that out. No wonder the car was getting slightly hot. You could see how full of crap the fins are. It's ridiculous. So that's why I gripe every time someone says, hey, you know, come out to Grange or this and that, because you get water in it and it gets wet and then the dirt sticks to it and then it does stuff like this. I mean, those events are really fun. You just got to be on top of your maintenance, and sometimes you don't want to do all that maintenance. So it's kind of like extra work when you have to go do stuff like that, because, you know, this is what happens, you know, especially over time. If you want to drive a lot, this is what happens. Getting dirty, huh? All right, so I got all the fasteners off the radiator here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out right now. Pull this guy out. Almost. There we go. Set it right here. And there is my old setup. Did me real good for nearly 5 years. Pretty cool. It's a 23-inch core, 13-inch high, and is it 2.5, 3-inch deep. All dash 16 hose. Two pretty generic fans that I got from Summit Racing, but they've worked this entire time. They're just wired correctly. I think they flowed 1800 CFM each. And now we have a ton of space. Look at that. Tons of space. Alright, so I'm going to clean up a little bit some of these tools, put them back in my toolbox over here, and I can get started on the next thing. But I'm going to take some measurements so I can get the measurements over to CR Racing. That way we can start planning the front mount intercooler, the oil cooler, and I guess just the routing of all the other stuff. Alright, so I took my measurements. Looks like I came up with 27 3/4 is the total space I have between the frame rails where the intercooler is going to sit. But I don't want the intercooler cord to get that close. I want to leave space for mounting and or wiggle room just in case something were to happen. I want to be fully pinched in between the frame rails. So I went a little bit smaller, about 25 inches. That gives about 2 inches space, you know, plus a little bit here and there on each side. So next thing is the position of the intercooler. I didn't want to put it all the way up at the top here, you know, because I want the center of gravity to be pretty low. I want all my weight to be as low as possible in the car, but I also don't want to get too low, because when you run over things or things come flying up from the lead car and or just happen on the track, if you go off course, you don't want it to scrape and puncture the radiator or, in this case, the intercooler. So I'm going to put mine close to maybe about an inch or so above the subframe. The lowest point of the car is actually the oil pan, but the subframe is about 1/4 inch higher than that. So an inch above that should give me enough safety margin to make sure that I have room in case something comes up and hits it. Alright, so working my way back to the rear of the car, I just realized what time it is. It's like 1:45. I need to get to sleep, so this is going to have to wait till tomorrow. Need to be fresh for tomorrow. We got lots of stuff in motion. We got more parts coming in. Need to email some people about some other working motion stuff that's going on right now with the car and the whole program. Really exciting stuff. I'm pumped to be working with Phenix Industries on the whole AN plumbing side of things. That really helps out. Most of this is not possible without the addition of partners, and it's really cool to be partnered up with companies that actually believe in what you're doing. So stay with us, guys. We're going to be starting this whole new series. I'm pretty sure we're going to be doing 2 episodes a week. I'll be updating other aspects on my stories, but Instagram TV is going to be where we're focusing most of this stuff, like the build, you know, of the car. So stay tuned with it, and we will get back to you guys ASAP.